Good evening and welcome to Perth East Council, this 21st day of February. If everyone could please bow their head for a moment of reflection. Thank you. We have a motion to confirm the agenda, that the agenda as prepared for February 21, 2024, meeting of council, the Township of Perth East, be approved as received. Moved by Hugh, second by Bob. All in favor? Carried. Okay, before we move on, I would like to welcome tonight Tanya with us. She is our new HR manager, and she's started on the 12th of February. She has 5 years experience. She's graduated from the University of Guelph, and she lives in Perth East from the Shakespeare area. So welcome, Tanya, and if you would like to say anything, you're welcome to.
I'm well prepared. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here and to learn some new things. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, if you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose that now or as the meeting goes along. Under consent item, we have 13 items. Is there anything anyone would like pulled or they have questions on? Andrew?
Thank you, Mary. It's 5.1.8, the county update.
Okay. Anyone else? I'd also like to, oh, sorry, Jerry?
Should we look at supporting 5.1.11?
Sure. Okay, anything else? I feel like I'm echoing for some reason. Anyway, okay, so we have a motion that that items 5.1.1 to 5.1.13, with the exceptions of 5.8 and 5.11, is set out on a consent agenda for February 21, 2024 regular meeting of council, be received for information, and that items 5.1.8 and 5.1.11, which will be introduced separately. The minutes of February 13, 2024 Perth East Public Library Board meeting and the February 7, 2024 Perth East Youth Action Committee be received for information, and the minutes of February 6, 2024 regular council meeting and February 13, 2024 special council meeting be adopted. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, Andrew, 5.18.
Yes, thank you. It's great to see this report. It's very well put together. I just have a couple of questions about specifics, if it's possible. Where to find more information on the Japan trip in December? You know, the group that sponsored it, you know, maybe some meeting minutes, reports, outcomes, plans for the future. It sounded like it was a busy trip. So is there a website or something? Where can we get more information on?
What page are you on? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, it's on the Warden's Activity Report, item number 6.
On page?
It'll be, you have to click a link in the.
So what did you want to know?
Is there more information available?
About?
On the trip, the content of the trip, who was met with, the group that went, like, is it an association that went, or?
To Japan?
Yes.
So it was the Economic Development Group. We went with the cities of St. Thomas, Ingersoll, Tillsonburg, Woodstock, City of Stratford, County of Perth. It was the mayors of all those cities, as well as myself as the warden, and the economic development officers. We left on, different ones went different days because some of the areas they visited, the companies that they had in their area that were currently, like City of Stratford has 5 Japanese companies, so they went to visit them on their own. As when we were there, we visited with some different companies. I was able to go to, with the City of Woodstock, we went to a company that did the moldings for in your car. We also went to a company that makes the parts for the sew machines and for in airplanes. And we went to a farm, a local farm we got to go see, and they have a tractor that the guy stood on the bank and he touched the buttons and the tractor went down the field by itself. No one was in it, turned around and came back at us. So that was really kind of cool. We went to the robotics show. We also met with HR firms. We met with lawyers. We met with many businesses. We had a couple barbecues that we went to, and we met with the local businesses. So the idea, they've been going to Japan for about 8 years, and it's the opportunity to meet with the local companies and bring their ideas here to Canada. So Volkswagen is coming to St. Thomas area, which will be a spinoff to all of us in this area as well. So that's how Toyota got here too. They went over and talked to Toyota, and they brought the Toyota manufacturing here.
It's interesting. Thanks very much. I didn't realize it was so widespread in different sectors. I thought it might have been all automotive. So from that, is there any, like, is it a group? It's not SWEA, is it? Southwestern Economic
It's
Alliance?
Southwestern Ontario Marketing Alliance.
Oh, never heard of that one.
So they have been together for quite a few years, and they go to EDCO, they go to a lot of events together, and they market the whole area. They just don't market one area.
Very interesting. Any plans or anything? Any good news coming from it, or?
No, they're doing follow-up now that we've all been there. Meredith and her group are all doing a follow-up with the different companies and touching base with them and just trying to help them out if they want to come this direction. So I haven't heard anything as of yet, but if I do, I can let everyone know.
Perfect. And the second item I have is the OPA 213 and OPA 12, which affects Milverton. Wondering what the outcome of that was.
At County Council, it was, the motion was in favor, and so it was passed.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will receive that for information. Item 5.1.8. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Hugh and Andrew, all in favor? Carried. Okay, and then we have 5.11. Jerry?
Yeah, I believe if we haven't supported this yet, I think we should, being as we're part of the Western Caucus, so we'll support for that.
Okay, so let's, so that the Council of Township of Perth East receive the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus resolution of support regarding Association of Municipalities of Ontario Social and Economic Prosperity Review for information. Council directs staff to prepare a letter of support, whereas current municipal fiscal arrangements are undermining Ontario economic prosperity and quality of life, whereas nearly a third of municipal spending in Ontario is for services and areas of provincial responsibility, and expenditures are outpacing provincial contributions by nearly $4 billion a year, whereas municipal revenues such as property taxes do not grow with the economy or inflation, whereas unprecedented population and housing growth will require significant investments in municipal infrastructure, whereas municipalities are being asked to take on complex health and social challenges like homelessness, supporting asylum seekers, and addressing the mental health and addictions crisis, whereas inflation, rising interest rates, provincial policy decisions are sharply constraining municipal fiscal capacity, whereas property taxpayers, including people on fixed income and small businesses, can't afford to subsidize income distribution programs for those most in need, whereas the province can and should invest more in the prosperity of communities, whereas municipalities and the provincial government have a strong history of collaboration. Therefore, it be resolved that the province of Ontario commit to undertaking with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario a comprehensive social and economic prosperity review to promote the stability and sustainability of municipal finances across Ontario, and further that a copy of this motion be sent to the Premier of Ontario, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Minister of Finance, MP John Nader, MPP Matthew Ray, and the Association of the Municipalities of Ontario. So we have that moved by Jerry. Do we have a seconder? Bob, any more questions? All in favor? Oh, sorry.
Some questions. It'll just go to annual, but it's not going to go back out to every municipality in Ontario. It'll just go.
Just being.
Amo.
Yeah. No, it's just these things start circulating.
Yes, we have an awful lot of them. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, so we have no public presentations, no other presentations, no delegations, no public meetings, and no public hearings. Under reports, we have nothing from planning, CAO, or clerk. We move right to finance, 2024 annual borrowing bylaw. Paula, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Agates. So council has before them tonight the 2024 annual borrowing bylaw. And this is just to allow us to borrow if our cash flow requires it prior to interim tax levies coming in, as well as towards the end of the year prior to the new budget. I do apologize. I missed this in the excitement of moving the budget up earlier. This should have been done at the beginning of the year, but I'm getting it now. We didn't need to use it, so that's good. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Paula. Is there any questions of the report? If not, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Treasurer dated February 21, 2024, entitled 2024 Annual Borrowing Bylaw, FIN-2024-04 for information, and at 3 readings be given to Bylaw 10-2024, being a bylaw authorizing the borrowing of money to meet 2024 current expenditures. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the 2023 tax arrears report. Paula?
Thank you. So here's a report for the 2023 tax arrears, and it's just to show council where we are in relation to the amount of arrears that we're carrying forward. So you can see from the chart provided in the report that we're decreasing in our arrears, and in 2023, our total arrears were $766,128, which equates to 3.8% of our tax collector's roll. And the generally accepted guideline is not to exceed 10% of your collector's roll. And council can see we're well below that, so there's no concerns that I have regarding the tax arrears, and we will be preparing our properties that are in 3 years arrears to initiate the tax sale process. So if there's any questions, that I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the report? Hugh?
Paula, like on say 2022, so 674,000, that would be what's the current year, plus there's still 291,000 from the year before, right?
That's correct. That's from prior years, so it's
Oh, okay.
the
so
year
that could be
before
from
and
the
back.
north one,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? If not, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Treasurer dated February 21, 2024, entitled 2023 Tax Arrears Report, FIN-2024-05 for information. Moved by Jerry, second by Jeremy. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, thanks, Paula. We'll move to Public Works now. We have the Perth County Road Rationalization Review. Jake?
Thanks, Mayor Agates. As some of you may know, the county is carrying out basically a review of their overall road network to assess the functionality of it and determine whether the roads they maintain make sense, and vice versa with the lower tier municipalities. As part of that process, they've reached out to the lower tiers to request some information excuse me, on some roads that that perhaps are functioning a little bit higher than a local road, such as an arterial road. We did a review of our internal network, mostly based on our traffic counts done this year in 2023, or last year rather. So it's primarily driven by traffic volume. The roads that staff have selected are line 29 in its entirety, line 37 in its entirety up to Perth Road 107. So it'll be everything west of that. And then lastly, 2 blocks of Road 111 on either side of the highway. I think Perth East is at a pretty good point right now in maintaining what we have. So I don't think there's any urgency around uploading anything to the county. And I'm not sure from the county's perspective if there's anything that makes sense to download to us. So this is more or less to put a few roads on the county's radar, so to speak, for some consideration in this review process. This will go to the county for their consideration, and we'll see what they do with it. If there's any questions, I can try and answer those.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Any questions for Jake? No questions? Then we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled Perth County Road Rationalization Review, PUB-2024-03, dated February 21st, 2024, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information. Moved by Andrew, second by Bob. All those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jake. Okay, we're going to move to building bylaw enforcement, and the first is dog fostering request. And Wes, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Eggetts. So there was a request that came for staff to look at fostering dogs in Perth East. So staff put together a list of items to be considered as part of a resolution to permit this in Perth East, along with an application form for the administrative process. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions of the report? No? Okay, so Council of the Township of Perth East, sorry, Jeremy?
Yeah, sorry. I did have a brief conversation with Wes about just making a change to item number 1. The humane societies don't exist in all areas of the province, or even, they do in Perth East, but not all areas of the province. So some discussion was around whether we allow the clerk's department and West, the building department, to approve. So it'd be proof of fostering agency approval from a recognized humane society or from the Township of Perth East bylaw and clerk department. So that was a suggested change I made, and I think, Wes, if you're okay with that, I think that would.
Yeah, sorry about that, Councillor.
Yeah, that's okay.
That was discussed, and yeah, that's a change that we can absolutely make there. Either a recognized humane society or a shelter at the discretion of the bylaw or clerk's department.
Okay, anything else? No, okay, then that Council of the Township of Perth East received the report entitled Dog Fostering Request, Perth East Bylaw Department, CBO-2024-03 and CLE-2024-02, dated February 21, 2024, prepared by the Chief Building Official and the Municipal Clerk for information, and further that Council approve fostering dogs within the Township of Perth East, subject to a complete application form, and further that Council direct staff to add the fostering dog tag fee to the fees and charges bylaw. You need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, and the second report is the property standards bylaw amendments. Wes?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, so we have updated our property standards bylaw and so that it lines up with the Building Code Act. Also, the Landlord Tenancies Act in 2018 did download the work for a lot of this to the municipalities. So the property standards bylaw before you tonight does have updates to section 6 that are a reflection of the building code as it relates to powers of entry. And this comes strictly from the Building Code Act and does not change our typical practice in the enforcement of the bylaw. and it's been updated to reflect the act, similar to the majority of municipalities in Ontario. So there are instances where landlords and tenants are in disagreement over the standards of properties, and the bylaws set out the minimum expectation for the conditions in those situations. So there are areas of the bylaw that provide standards within buildings, and they are pertinent to landlord-tenant disputes, and they're not applicable to homeowners within their own buildings. An example would be like a homeowner with graffiti on their own walls. Obviously, if it's their choice of decor in their own home, it's their own business. But if it's a public corridor leading to apartments, and it's something that would be offensive or unsightly to the tenants, then our property standards bylaw would address that kind of thing. A homeowner on their own private well assumes the responsibility of looking after their private well. There are instances where someone's renting the house, so this would get picked up in section 3.38, where maybe the well was contaminated and needed to be addressed, or needed to be shocked or whatever to have safe drinking water. So a lot of the things in the bylaw are to do with the Landlord Tenancies Act. So if there's anything else in the report, I'll be happy to answer any questions if council have any.
Okay, thanks, Wes. Any questions, Hugh?
Yeah, no, it is a good report, Wes. The only thing is, I think it would be better if it was divided into like a private dwelling and then say apartment buildings and stuff like that, because when you read through it, it's kind of confusing because you're not sure whether is this for somebody's private dwelling or is this something for like an apartment building. It would just make it a lot clearer. And it was on page 95F. It talks about long grass and stuff like that, and I didn't know if people now are into naturalization and stuff like that of their lawns and things like that. Like would something like that, if they did that, would that get caught up if somebody complained about their not cutting their grass or something like that?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. So we would address that with a complaint if it was a complaining neighbor in that situation. Yeah, the property standards bylaw would address that. These are the standards that we've proposed for council in Perth East that would line up with a lot of, I guess in some of those instances, it would be to do with safety with long grass in the residential areas. But yeah, that would be something our bylaw would be able to address.
Okay, any other questions? If not, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled Property Standards Bylaw Amendment CBO-2024-04 dated February 21st, 2024, prepared by the Chief Building Official for information, and further that Council give 3 readings to Bylaw 11-2024 and repeal Bylaws 36-2001 and 42-2018. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. All those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Wes. Okay, we have no reports from Recreation and Community Services, no reports from Fire. We have no correspondence. We're down to council and committee reports. No mayor's meeting log. Are there any council reports for any of the boards or committees that anyone sits on? Nope. Okay. Then we move down to bylaws. We have first, second, third, and final reading of bylaw 10-2024, a bylaw authorizing the borrowing of money to meet 2024 current expenditures, and that was item 8.4.1. And the second one is bylaw 11-2024, a bylaw for prescribing standards for the maintenance and occupancy of all property, and repeal bylaw 36-2001 and 42-2018, and that was item 8.6.2 on tonight's agenda. So we need a mover and a seconder for first, second, and third and final readings. Moved by Hugh, second by Bob. All those in favor? Carried. Are there any notice of motions? Nope. Any other business? Any announcements? We don't have closed session, so we are down to the confirmatory bylaw. And that is that bylaw 12-2024, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held on February 21st, 2024. We read a first, second, and third time. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. And the last motion of the night is that we adjourn at 7:26 p.m. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.